Hello, trading has closed on December 8th, 2025. We always start with our disclaimer, go over our calls, make our predictions. It's my trading plan for Tuesday, December 9th. Remember, I can be wrong, I can change my plan and trade at your own risk. I have a lot of doctor's visits this week. May not be risking my own money on these calls. We said if we could take this high out early, we should trade lower, and that certainly worked. We said it was a pattern with the early high, which this is. Tomorrow should also have the early high. Just a reminder of what we said. We had an ultimate sell signal during the day. That's already played out. MEJT says this is not a sustainable drop. Gives us targets of 68, 62, 32, 68, 52, 94. And if we don't gap down smartly, it'll have to be the call. I am not convinced that these are going to print. Let's remember, if we do gap down smartly, the numbers stay on the table, but not the time. This is a wall into the close. It's often a false move. It's a lot more convincing if you rally all day and then have it. It means people finally threw in the towel. And you could say you dropped all day and recovered over all these lows. That's true, but with just a few minutes left to trade, that wasn't true. And I'm just not convinced. Now again, I don't have any money on this. If we don't get down smartly, then fine, we have higher targets. But as far as overnight's concerned, I think we could get down smartly. Let's just review some other stuff. We have the DeMark indicators giving overextended indicators, overextended signals on the monthly, the weekly, and the daily chart. And when you're overextended, you can work out of the overextended condition by consolidating rather than by dropping. The longer you go without dropping, less overextended you become. And so far, it looks like that's what's been happening. Problem I have is with the wave count. I have a number of wave counts which don't seem to break any rules, but I like a wave count to be pretty, and none of the ones I have are really pretty. And frankly, even though they don't break any rules, I'm not certain any of them are right. Not certain they're wrong, but I'm not certain they're right. We had a pretty clear wave 2 here. And wave 4 is usually longer than wave 2. It doesn't have to be, but that's what usually happens. If I had a real clear count here, not just on the daily chart, but on the smaller time frames, I would say, well, it doesn't break any rules if wave 4 ends here, and it could be in the 5th wave. But it's just getting harder and harder for me to count this as a 5-wave structure on smaller time frames. And if that's true, this could be only wave A of wave 4. It could be in B of wave 4. If this isn't the 5th wave, I think wave 4 could have a ways to go. We could be consolidating over a long time. Months, weeks to months. Now again, it's a plan. It's not carved in stone. It doesn't mean this idea is wrong. It just means that's not the only idea. And if this isn't the 5th wave, then the 4th wave's not over. And if we gap down tomorrow, undercutting this stuff, there may be a way to count it as a 5th wave. I'm just having trouble finding it. Not willing to commit totally on that. But if we gap down, undercut this low, undercut these lows, it's acting less and less like an impulse, and I wasn't thrilled with counting this as a fifth wave anyway. Now again, we don't have to gap down. We could just go up and keep going up, and maybe that counter shows the right count. You don't know. But if we do gap down, take this out, I can make a case for this being a significant top here with a lot of consolidation or lower targets before the bull resumes. Tuesday's pattern has a really high regardless of where we open. Typically it is a bearish day with a final hour low. If it's strong, we should see more strength. We have higher MEJT targets. Unless we gap down smartly, the rules call for them to print. But I think gapping down smartly is entirely possible. A friend of mine has a timing system. Friday was a direct hit for a top in his system. Now I'll tell you, his stuff doesn't always work. But it doesn't always fail either. And if it is a top, it fits according to his criteria. The wall into the close would be more convincing as a sign of panic buying were it to have occurred after a day-long rally. However, serious money isn't going to wait until just before the close to make its move. And if that's right, we don't know that yet, but if that's right, we should gap down tomorrow. Gapping down tomorrow and promptly undercutting the low of day, if it happens, it hasn't happened yet, would have serious consequences. Would make it difficult for me to count the current rally as wave 5 up, implying we were still in the fourth wave. And if we are in the fourth wave, we could have a lot of work to do in terms of time and probably price before the bull resumes. This is not strong action. If we don't forget, MEJT likes to leave failed targets right at a major change in trend. If there's no failed target at a major change in trend, probably isn't a major change in trend, although I didn't make it one of the rules. And if my friend's timing system works, and if we gap down here, take out some recent lows, I think we might still be in the fourth wave. We could have a lot of consolidating to do, which would be more in line with the DeMark indicators. So I think we'll have to see if we can recover these numbers and keep going up, which is what usually happens in December. You keep going up. Or if we're still in the fourth wave with considerable time and price lower targets on the downside, if we undercut this consolidation, I'm not going to be happy counting this as a fifth wave, as a 5-wave structure. And if so, we'd be in wave B of 4 if this is the right count. So it's kind of a critical time. It's a pattern with the early high. It's usually a negative day. We start out negative here. There could be a ways down. This is not good action. And that's today's call.